Today's lesson is on using images, and the question of the day is how can we add images on our websites while making sure that we respect everyone's rights? A dog versus cat web page has been started for you. The dog image has already been added to the web page below, so here it is. Here's our dog. Do this. Look at the code that make the dog image appear. Okay, so we look over here. It says dogs, image source, dog.jpg, alt, dog jumping. There we go. So now it says use an image tag to add the cat JPEG image to the page below the cat heading. So what we need to do is do basically the same exact thing here underneath cats. So let's hit enter, and we're going to write in basically the same exact information. So already dogs, so now we're going to write in the same code, img, and then source equals. Now we're going to put in quotes the name of it. Now it already starts to do it for us. It gives us all of our options that are over the left. That makes it easy. So I can type in the cat JPEG. All right, now you might be saying, well, hold on, we just put it in. Why is it not in here? Well, let's follow up with what they said. They also do alt equals, and then we'll come up with a name for it. We could just have it be cat up close, something like that. So what does the alt mean exactly? Well, the alt is just kind of like an alternative for what you would see just in case the image doesn't load properly for whatever reason. That's pretty much it. So you have to make sure that you have that closing tag right there. So when using someone else's image, because I didn't take these photos here, you should give credit to the original creator. This also is called attribution. The easiest way to do this is to add text below the image that identifies the creator and the website it came from. You may also add information about the publishing license. To do this, add information about where the image came from and its license. So this image was found at Pixabay, was uploaded by this user who used a free for commercial use and no attribution required license. Essentially what it's saying is we actually don't need to cite this one. But we're going to, because we want to be, we want to set a good standard. We're going to do the right thing right here. So they have right here, right, this code, which I'm going to copy at first. I'm going to put it underneath here. But now, of course, we have the wrong one here. So I'm going to instead copy this, and I'm going to put it in there instead. Now it says that it's pretty long, so I think I can change it up a little bit. So before it had the name of the user, where it came from, and then the type of license that it had, if any. So I'm instead going to delete all of this. I remember it was Pixabay. I'm going to just put it as here, Alexis Photos, and I'm going to say Pixabay, and then we'll say free for commercial use. No attribution required. Now, when we look at it, it looks very similar to the one that we have right here. And we're good to go. We gave proper attribution, even if they didn't need it. All right. The SRC attribute needs to point to the exact file name of the file of the image that you want to use. That means you need to pay attention to spelling, capitalization, and the file extension. Each of the 3 images on this page is broken because of an improper SRC attribute. Use the file menu for reference. Fix each of the image tags. When you're finished, each image should display correctly. So we can see right here, there's supposed to be an image here, but it's not showing it. So look at the first one. It's supposed to be red sky. All right. And then the first one says red. It says image source, red.jpg. We look over here. It's not red.jpg. It's red sky. So we have to do red _ sky, and then it shows up. Now, if we go down over here, it's grass.jpg, but if you look, the JPG is all capitalized. So if I go JPG, does that fix it? Yes, it does. Now we can see the grass. And then finally, for the blue, we just need to add in the E there, and then that makes it accurate. So those small little fixes was enough for everything to work. Choosing a good name. It's important for images to have good names, ones that are easy to understand and use characters that are good for links. This project's image names have some problems. So for each image, fix the name according to the following rules. Avoid these special characters Make sure that the name has a specific meaning that helps you know what the image is. Use dashes or underscores, no spaces. Keep the names as short as possible and still have a clear meaning. So choose your favorite image and add to the web page. Don't forget the attribution. So all we need to do is one, but let's actually go through and fix them. So this is Canny Bushfrog. Down over here, this is Canny Bushfrog. That's not too bad, except for the fact that it shouldn't have any spaces there. So we'll put a dash instead. So that's a little bit better. We'll go down over here. This is Pedofrine Amano. Oh boy. And that one is this image right here. So we will click on this. We will rename it to be whatever this is. Pedofrine Amauensis. Oh boy. Okay. So that works for me. We renamed that one. I wish there was a nice, easy name that we can use instead, but there it is. Maybe it's like a bullfrog or something. I don't know. Let's go down over here to the red-eyed tree frog. Which one would that be? Is this it? It sure is. So this just has a bunch of numbers on it. So we'll change this to red-eyed tree frog. Has a better name now. And then finally, we go down here to fire salamander. So we'll go here. And it actually looks like this one is perfect except for the exclamation point. We don't want that. Is there one more? Oh, yep, the axolotl. So you may notice that sometimes they had little things next to it that's like a good way to describe it. So I actually think that this is like the cutest one of them all. So if we were to go back to the index file and it says my favorite amphibians, why don't we add in that? So this one might be a little tricky. We have to remember the code that we used before to get it in there. So we have to first type in this symbol, of course. We do image. We do the source. And then once we have the image source in there, we have to make sure that we remember to click on the equal sign. And then we'll give us the option. So I'm going to put the axolotl right there. I'm going to use the alternate right here. And then I am going to put that as equals, and I will name it, and we'll say walking lizard. So that's like an alternative name there for it. We can close that up, and there it appears. Now, if I want to, I can put also, let's say I want to put like H3 or something like here. I can put like a little heading here to name what it is. So we can say axolotl, the walking lizard. And then that comes up underneath with a name for it. I can also put in parentheses here, we want to like put attribution to it, and the attribution is right here. So I can copy this and make sure that that gets in there as well to put the attribution, and then that shows up underneath. Alrighty, now it might make sense to actually flip-flop these now that I'm looking at it. So, or put this on top. So if we do that, that might be able to, just make sure that there's no confusion that this is going right underneath for the attribution for the image that's right above it. Now this is all set. I have my accurate code, and I could just keep doing this for all of them, right? Just copying and pasting the right thing in there, putting the right images there. But now you get the idea. Uploading images. You can upload images that you found elsewhere using the Add Image button. Go find an image of a different type of pet that you like and download it to your computer using right-click Save As. Once you have your images, click on Add Image and upload the image from your computer into your project where you can then use it in your page. Find an image you are allowed to use and upload it to this project. Make sure the file name follows your naming rules. Use the image tag. Add the alt attribute. Add the attribution information below the image. Okay, so let's make sure that we do all this. Right over here, we have cats, but we can add another image underneath. So you know what I might do is I might just stick with cats and just do a second cat because it's just a little easier that way. So I actually found an image that I like. I don't know if this creeps you out or not, but I thought this was kind of cute. And I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to save the image as. I have it here. Make sure that you have it going down to the right place. This is going to my downloads image. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to go to Add Image. I'm I'm going to upload the file. I'm going to look for that image, my downloads. Here's my cat sphinx image right here. And now I have that in there. I should have had that in there. Yes, it's in there. Good. Now, if you remember, the first thing that it says is that we want to make sure that the file name follows the naming rules. So we're going to rename this, and we're going to say, instead of all this, cat sphinx. So we have one cat right there. We'll have another one right over here, and I will use image source equals. We'll put the cat sphinx. We'll use alt equals, and we will name it cat sphinx. We'll close it. And then we have another cat image right over here. And underneath that, we'll make sure that we find where we got it from and make sure that we have the right information. So if I scroll down, it says that this is our author right here. So I'm going to copy that information, and it came from Wikimedia Commons. So we just want to make sure that we give the right offer. It says that it has the Creative Commons attribution license, so we can copy that as well. Just make sure that all the right information is in there. So we'll use P, Wikimedia Commons, and then we will make sure that we copy and paste that over. And now we have the attribution underneath it to make sure that we're doing the right thing that we need to. All right, and if I wanted to, I can get a little cute and I can put a name underneath it. Or if we have the alternate, if I want to make a name for my Sphinx cat instead of just naming it Cat Sphinx, maybe I can call it Cat Sphinx Fluffy. That's a funny name for a cat with no hair, right? All right, now we're all done with this. So we have the attribute, we have the image, and the attribution information there. All right, time to pick one of these activities to try out. Ooh, there's a lot of fun ones over here. I found some Pokemans here, so why not take a look at that one? Someone has submitted a bug report. Can we fix the bug? There is a second Pikachu image. There is alt text, but no image. So it says Pikachu's a yellow one over here. Down here, gameboy.jpg, but if you notice, this has to have a capital B for it to work, because then it will match up perfectly over there. So the Cossim one works, but the second image did not work. But here's the second one over here. And now it worked, right? So what I expected is that there's a second Pikachu image, and there is the text, but not the image to go with it. Now, the alt text is generally when you're looking at one of these pages, if you were to kind of full screen it and hover over it, generally if you inspect this stuff and see what's going on there, the alternate image over here, generally you don't even need to do this. You just need to hover over it. And on most websites, it gives you the alternative text when you hover over it. For some reason, it's not working on this one, but that's generally what happens, right? You hold here and then the image comes up over it so you can see what the name of it is. So we're done with that, but it's definitely fun to go through and check a lot of different ones here. All right, all about you. You can use images to make a web page more personal. So add an image to the page. Make sure to follow the rules about copyright, naming, and using coding styles. So if I was looking for a cool image, what I would certainly need to do is first add the image. We just showed you how to do this before. So perhaps a cool image could be, maybe this knight over here. as this comes in, I can rename it and I can say Green Knight Mike. So cool picture, right? Underneath that, I can, of course, use the image source. Mike. So here's the image that we have. It looks like there's a knight talking into a microphone, which I thought was kind of cool. So I actually made this image using like an AI software that just created it, generated this. So I actually don't need to attribute it to anyone. But if I wanted to, let's just say that my name, that we wanted to cite me, and we could say over here. That's my username, and it was downloaded from Nightly Chronicles. That would be the website, and then free to use. And then that puts that information in there, right? And then this would be all about me. I can put the information down there. I can talk about how I run the Nightly Chronicles website, and I also have a podcast, and then it's made by CDW Knights, and then we can have this fun image right over there. And then that's just like one example of one way to do it. And then finally, you have another challenge to do, which would be kind of cool. It says learn how to customize the height and the width of images. That seems like a fun one to do, but there's a whole bunch of other ones that you can do right over here. So let's take a look at this. Images are not always the right size for a web page. You may have seen that before when I added that image of the Sphinx cat, but it was like so much bigger than the other one. So luckily there are width and height attributes to set how many pixels tall and wide an image is. Add the attributes inside the image tag using height equals and width equals. So do this, read the HTML and look at the height and width attributes are used. So we look over here, here's a corgi, and here's a really large corgi, and then a really large corgi again, it looks like. So very cute, but they're way too big. So if you look over here, we have this one over here, the corgi tongue, everything's small here, but the other ones don't have it. So I can take this code, right, and I can copy that, and I can try to apply that to this one as well. And did that fix it? Yes, it did, right? It shrunk it down. I could take the same exact one, and I can put it underneath here, and it fixes that one too? Yes, it does. Now all of them are the correct size right over here. And because they all came from the same person, we could just say photos instead of one photo, and then all of that right there. So now they all have similar information right here, and it wasn't that hard. We could just copy and paste. And then you're all good.